Did you know that being too elegant can keep you single? Masani, how do you do? I'm an image consultant and a color season consultant, and a lot of my clients have come from Anabe, especially watching her videos and some taking her courses, and telling me that watching her videos, especially and wearing a lot of beige, they were worse off than they were before. And at the same time, when I ask gentlemen who do they think is the most beautiful wife material woman, they would say Melania or Kate Middleton, even if they are in their 20s. So, does elegance really matter? While if you're vulgar, you will be treated poorly, gentlemen don't want to be eaten by the Elegantosaurus rex. Hum! Jenny Sales and her husband endorsed me, saying women shouldn't wear beige because beige is boring. It blends with the wall. And most walls are beige, according to the husband of Jenny Sales. Jenny Sales said affluent men respond to a beautiful bright color in your season. Christian Dior said that women are flowers in the garden of life. Studies show that one of the major components of human and often animal sexual attraction is gender dimorphism, as in striking difference between genders. So the more you dress like you're not a man, the more attractive you are. French chic kept me single until the age of 25, and if you want I can talk more about it. And it was only when I got a makeover from an American designer who was at Montreal Fashion Week that I finally became attractive to men. I was wearing French chic and I was told I look like an old rich gentleman, and if people were complimenting me, I looked like an old rich lady. When you're 23 and struggling with dating, it's not flattering at all. I was so frustrated. I used to cry myself to sleep for many nights. So when you see I go after French chic ladies, it's not out of being mean. And then I'm told, oh, when you are middle-aged, you're going to age too, and you shouldn't be attacking these middle-aged ladies. Well, I'm middle-aged myself. So when I was having problems that no one loved me, I thought, is there something wrong with me? You know, it's like being obese, and also I had terrible girlfriends. I mean, not so much terrible as in the reason why they were my friend was not a good reason. It's like being the obese woman who is the ugly friend that women befriend to look pretty next to. So the friendship is disingenuous. So after I had my glow up, I lost most of my female fake friends. Being too elegant in my French chic, I was treated as though I was morbidly obese. Being too elegant and frumpy can get you treated as though you have morbid obesity. Think of that for a second. So how did I get so ugly when I was younger? Well, it started with my parents took me to Paris obviously, and hired a stylist because I was going to move from the Middle East to the United States. And I was going to go to prep school for my final year there, so I could go to an American university and assimilate, so they wanted me to fit in. So they hired a French chic stylist. And she helped me pick my clothes so that I could fit in. And the result was, I was voted second best dressed. The lady who won best dressed, gentlemen and girls both liked her, but my style was only liked by ladies. If you want, write in the comments if this interests you I can make a video about my transition from an ugly, involuntary, celibate French chic girl into a Miss Universe finalist who was very attractive to lots of men. Being elegant can be helpful if you know the difference between being elegant and being frumpy. So Melania and Princess Catherine both use smoky eye, they use bright color, they're not boring and beige. So that's the difference. I made a video on Palm Beach aesthetic, and there you see how to be both elegant and not boring and frumpy, like a dinosaur. We're not here to dress like fossils. When Princess Catherine, got Prince William, she wore eyeliner. Melania wore smoky eye to seduce Trump. She was not walking around in boring beige. Princess Catherine's outfit that got Prince William's attention was scandalous. I don't recommend it because this is the sort of thing that attracts young boys who are commitment phobic, and she had such a hard time being weighty Kate over 8 years. I believe ladies should only start dating at the age of 25 because you'll have something in common to providers who are 28, 27, and 25 between 28 27 is not such a large gap. Before the age of 25, gentlemen are a waste of your time because young gentlemen are like the young Prince William who just want to screw around and have fun at your expense and don't want to get married but play the field until they acquire status and resources. Older men, well, they don't want to marry women under the age of 25. That's very true for affluent men. It's embarrassing because people say, so what do you have in common? All things in common. So providers want to be able to relate to you. So how can they relate to a university student or recent hire? They cannot. So you cannot build emotional and intellectual intimacy at a young age. The only people who are, interested in you and can relate to you emotionally, well, they just want to screw around and have fun. That's boys your age. I call young men unripe fruit. So in Miranda talks about the taxi cab theory, and it's so true in dating. So at some point, young men acquire enough status and resources to inspire them to start a family. This is nature. And then the cab light switches on. And as Miranda said in And the City, when they finally reach the time of being ready, the cab light switches on, and then they pick up whoever is there hailing the cab when the cab light is on. When gentlemen are finally ready to settle down, they will pick who meets their dream girl material. That's why you shouldn't date students, because students are usually looking for a starter wife to split the bills and free kitty cat. Then after they save on money because you're moving in together or whatever it is, then they acquire these resources, they can finally get the woman they want, and if it's a medical student, very often they get married and then later divorce. If it's just a student, you will move in together, split bills, he'll save money, and then when he finally has the resources to court the sort of ladies he's actually into, he'll dump you. It's very rare that someone will marry their high school sweetheart and not give her headache and abdominal cancer later in life. The reason dressing young is dressing vulgar, to fit in when you're young is vulgar, is because most young women date boys their age, and boys their age only want one thing and don't want to get married. As a certified stylist, I recommend dressing for your go, because when we're young, we're very confused. And so, how old should you dress? I would say you should dress 30. You should dress 30. No matter your age. Why 30? 30 is the age in the West where most women get married, and that's the age where the taxi cab light is on. For the age that gentlemen commit. Therefore, I recommend to dress as though you're 30 years old and not an 8-year-old fossil. So why does Anna Bay YouTube dressing expensive and TikTok's old money aesthetic all tell you? Escorting, that is where it comes from. As I said in previous videos, that escorts used to be, when they're younger, a core saxophone service provider, and then they moved down the supply chain to be a sax work consultant, right? Well, most women don't play the saxophone. The market for escorts and sax workers looking for advice on getting into the industry is limited, and there's a much wider market of ladies who are looking for a gentleman who simply doesn't split the bills 50-50. How to succeed with high-value gentlemen is a much wider market, so they blend sugar with vanilla. Did you know the 28-year-old great-grandma aesthetic is actually a norm among high-end escorts? Well, a friend of mine was a luxury hotel manager, and she was telling me there was this escort that went to their hotel. Well, the most important thing is when the female clients of the hotel notice her, the hotel will have to get rid of her. So she has to be unnoticed by the female clients of the hotel. So how do they do that? They dress frumpy, like a grandmama. So they like to wear black or beige, often a Chanel suit. Why? Chanel suits, especially the tweed ones, are considered unattractive by gentlemen, but ladies love them. A black or beige Chanel jacket is frumpy and boring, and then they would have a long skirt, or they would have, a midi skirt like Anna Bay wears, or the other option is long pants. The affluent ladies see the 24-year-old dressing like an 84-year-old as not a threat, so they don't notice, but people who know what to look for know. And she's usually holding a glass by the stem, well, because it's elegant, and that's etiquette, and she's looking around. An elite lady would be checking her phone, looking at the messages, or reading a book, for example. A lady who belongs there would be working on her laptop, while an escort is turned around away from the bar, looking for potential clients to flirt with, and doing nothing else. So, if they were not frumpy, they would be noticed at once and escorted out. So my friend said that escort would bring enormous tips, and at the same time not be on the radar of female hotel guests. So they just let her sit there. How did she know she was an escort? It's because when gentlemen would go to talk to her, then she would give them a business card and they would have an expression of shock and leave. Or some of them would smile, hold her hand, and walk together as a new couple out of the bar, up the stairs. And she would know exactly what they were doing, so they would go to the desk and book a room. Or, if he had a room, go to his room. So escorts at high-end hotels typically wear black or beige and in a frumpy grandma outfit so they wouldn't be caught and complained about by female patrons, so that the escorts won't get escorted away. So the frumpy grandma aesthetic is actually the high-end hotel escort aesthetic you may see at places like the Dorchester. The goal of these escorts was not to attract men, but to simply be not kicked out. So how did they still manage with the frumpy granny outfits? Well, their face was young and pretty and they had beautiful hair. As much as the face had very little makeup and used their youth instead, and often they would reinvest in plastic surgery. High-end escorts typically wear clean girl makeup because they don't want to get caught. If you do want to attract someone, it helps not to look like a fossil and have some fun. So what's the difference between Princess Catherine and Melania style versus looking like a grandma? There's so much elegance shaming by frumpy ladies who dress 100 years older than they should. But to dress effectively, you should dress like you look like a wife material lady, but at the same time you're not boring. Edith Head, who created old Hollywood glamour, said a woman should wear a dress loose enough to show that she's a lady, but tight enough that she's a woman. Jeannie Sales also says you should wear bright color in your color season, and I will have a video on color season advice coming up, including some free tips if you can't afford a session, and also how to know if your color season consultant is good or color suits you. Christian Dior said women are flowers in the garden of life. One of the most important components of sexual attraction among mammals is, especially among humans, is gender dimorphism, or the difference between male and female. So if you're wearing things that are clearly feminine, and if a gentleman wears it, he will look gay, that is very attractive. And the same for gentlemen. So originally, neutral colors that Chanel took, she borrowed from the boys, and most of her things are really outdated and not attractive. And that's why escorts like them, because they can camouflage. So don't borrow from the boys. Why Western men like to wear neutral colors? And it was because they wanted the show of their wealth. According to the book Distinction, gentlemen would show off their wealth, especially after the French Revolution. Men being very decorated like peacocks became a no-no. So the polite way to show off one's wealth would be through one's woman, and therefore neutral colors was a great way to have a background to recede behind their beautiful wife who takes center stage in her colorful dress. The only color European men, especially British men, wore was the red on their military vests during the military parade so they could be seen. Red was the only color gentlemen could wear as part of a military uniform, and if they were not in uniform, they would stick to neutral colors to make their lady shine. That's why neutral colored suits look so masculine. It's because they're not trying to peacock for female attention. The severity and asceticism shows the discipline of someone ready to go to war, and the bright colors in feminine costume show someone to be protected from war. Neutral colors are in fact masculine, and that's why you probably have less attention wearing them. Many of my clients came to me because they were watching Anabe videos, and they found out that they had far less attention wearing neutral colors and taking Anabe's advice. In fact, some people were even wearing horseback riding outfits in beige to the bar, and we know old money, well, they will not wear their uniform for show jumping everywhere. In fact, old money will wear darker pants for horseback riding, because if you have to clean the horse stable and take care of your horse, you know things get dirty rather quickly. So old money actually avoid wearing beige bottoms when riding their horse if they're frequent horseback riders. So there was a trend where ladies would listen to Anna Bay and wear beige horseback riding outfits to go to high-end hotels to only get embarrassed. She tells ladies, this is not elegant, that is not elegant. But then the problem is that the look that she comes up with in the end is not effective for our girls. When I talked about elegance shaming, one of my TikTok ladies said the following. I'll read here. I live in France, the land of natural beauty. Yet it is not with this look that I had success with elite gentlemen. I tried the clean girl look and saw the difference. Elite men found it boring. Clean girl is so boring. I'm Indian, so when I wear lovely colors, attar Indian perfume, red lipstick and khajar for the eyes, I attract elite gentlemen and gentlemen in general. One of my followers who looks to me as African American heritage, Christine, I'm glad people are having this conversation. This minimal beige aesthetic is so boring, lacks personality. Style is about making a statement and being unique. Bold colors, prints, and statement jewelry can be elegant if styled the right way. I followed Anna Bay for many years and realized her style tips really aged me. My outfits made me look very dull and people would just ignore me. Since then, I've cultivated my own personal style and I received so many compliments. I've met new friends because of my accessories becoming conversational pieces. Wealthy people dress modestly and conservatively because they don't want attention. But if you're moving up the social ladder, she says, it's very important to dress to be noticed. I personally disagree with her that wealthy people dress boring in the old money aesthetic way, though, however, affluent nerds will wear this old money aesthetic type clothing because they don't want to put thought into their clothing and don't want to look vulgar, but they won't overdo it the way Anna Bay or some of those elegant ladies on TikTok like Level Blue. Or Amira Besret, now she changed her name. Who do you think is more likely to get an elite gentleman? A Miss Universe finalist like myself, or Anna Bay, or Level Blue, or another elegant expert who go online and say, this is not elegant, that is not elegant, this is not elegant, that is not elegant, and end up looking like a dinosaur fossil. And said Lida Millen, in contrast to the fun outfit worn by the Countess, which is actually how affluent people dress, because affluent people enjoy life. I've noticed that many Miss Universe finalists do end up marrying successfully. So do Victoria's Secret models. What I don't notice is elegant experts, elegantosaurus rexes, who say this is not elegant, that is not elegant, be very successful with gentlemen in their marriage. You know, Anna Bay may have done fine. However, could you compare her success to Melania Trump? No, right? How about many Miss Universe finalists who married some of the most affluent and successful men in the world? So I'm totally not putting myself in this equation. Then we have, of course, the Palm Beach aesthetic, or the ladies of Palm Beach who don't wear neutrals but do wear color in their colour season and wear fun prints. The ladies of Palm Beach are much better off and much more successful with gentlemen than all these elegantosaurus elegance experts. When it comes to, I've noticed that the Palm Beach style is characterized by the elegance. Think of Melania. So yes, she has fun with her makeup, she has fun with her clothes, though she makes sure that the clothes are not too sexually revealing, but they're not boring and frumpy. Muslim ladies are a perfect example of how to be elegant, because they cannot show off their bodies and not be half naked, but they still want male attention. They will play with their eyes, they'll play perfume, they'll do other tricks, or maybe a color. So dressing vulgar is dressing your age if you're under 30, especially in the early 20s, when most young women are trying to attract broke dusty losers who simply want to pump and dump, right? Showing off half naked, right? That's what you don't want to do. You also don't want to look desperate for attention. For example, wearing a bright color that doesn't suit you, and on top of it, with lots of glitter and this and that, begging for attention. Ladies, we're not desperate. So what an elegant lady truly tries to do is try to get attention without being caught. So here, I'm wearing eye makeup and I'm showing my shoulders, right? And the pearls would be for fun, and that's how I try to get attention. So this is why I'm not frumpy. In her 30s, Kate Middleton will dog whistle to male sexuality. For example, she'd always wear high heels and she would wear lace. So as much as her lace is conservative, there's a little hint of the bedroom. Princess Catherine's clothes in her 30s were always tight enough to show her beautiful figure, but loose enough to be a lady, and they would cover her up just so, but they would be in a bright color to attract male attention. Her style stopped being so sexy and flirty when a rival, Meghan Markle, joined the court, and people were saying Kate's style is frumpy because it's frumpy to women. But it's sexy to men because the female gaze and the male gaze is very different. Princess Catherine was wife sexy until she had a rival for attention, Meghan Markle, and then people started comparing and calling Princess Catherine frumpy. Women called her frumpy for not wearing pants, when in fact wearing pants is not attractive to gentlemen scientifically, because pants are masculine, and studies show men are attracted to gender dimorphism. So skirts, since men typically don't wear them unless they're a kilt, are not considered attractive in gentlemen, but are considered attractive when a lady wears them. Princess Catherine's insecurity with Meghan Markle made her dress frumpy in order to be picked by women, because she wanted to increase her popularity from not only men, but broaden her popularity to a female public, and you do this by dressing uglier. In the West, if you dress attractive to gentlemen, women will attack you or elegance shame you. Why are you so dressed up, right? And I say it's because life is a party and too short to dress boring. If they say, where are you going? Are you going to a wedding? No. My life is a celebration. Just because everyone here dresses like a walking corpse doesn't mean I have to. When I dressed to fit in, to blend in, I got nothing out of being ugly. Then why do white women get somewhere, or women of the establishment get somewhere by dressing ugly? Well, if they're established, people will date them for their connections. And it's the connections, they don't really like you as a person. I found for a woman, the most single value we have is our looks, fortunately or unfortunately. After my makeover, when I stopped fitting in being frumpy with my French chic, and instead I dressed for success to attract heterosexual gentlemen. All the doors opened for me. Sure, all of a sudden I got a lot of female haters, but that's a good thing. Before, I was what in pageants is called a clapper, or someone people just clap for because they feel sorry. And then, after my makeover, suddenly I went from ugly to hot. So, I got a lot of jealousy, I lost a few friends, I got, even attacked during my engagement. Yeah, women can be mean when they're jealous. When I was a clapper, everyone was nice to me because I was not a threat. And then when suddenly men pay attention to you instead of other women, yes, other women will criticize you, elegance shame you, whatever, but at the same time you get respect even from those women that you would not have if you were a pick-me who dressed boring. By being fun and dressing fun, I am much more charming than the women who hate on me in their beige. The beige ironing boards who blend in with the wall are not very fun, but I am. After my makeover, what surprised me was that a lot of doors opened to me in my career that were not open before. Before I had to struggle really, really hard to get anywhere or anything. And then when I had pretty privilege, suddenly all the doors opened for me. And when I had pretty privilege, it wasn't plastic surgery that gave it to me. Although I confess, after pageants, after my makeover, I went to Brazil and I fixed my chin, So what, right? But the big difference was before. The big difference was that stylist changed my life. And now I became a stylist and color consultant, so I can change the lives of other women. And many women say that my styling was their best investment in leveling up. I do keep my prices affordable, but that's why I have a very long waiting list. Good things come to those who wait. I noticed it's things like from pageants that I learned at Miss Universe. It's things that like makeup, right? Wearing your color season, wearing what suits you, finding out what suits you, that will make any woman beautiful. Also, of course, healthy eating. What I learned in pageants is that any woman at a healthy weight, if styled correctly, can become beautiful. It brings me so much joy to see beauty in others that they cannot yet see themselves, but I can see as a professional, and bring it out, and wow, all of my ladies became great beauties. So the important thing is not to be overly elegant, but to be glamorous. And to me, glamour comes from true elegance. Elegance is limiting information to the eye so that the eye relaxes, but not limiting it so much that it's boring. So glamour or true elegance means you have fun, but you have balance, that you don't overload the eyes until it's too much information and becomes vulgar. Example, if you have smoky eye like here, you don't run around with a bold red lip. My lips look a bit brighter because it's saturated. I create color palettes for my clients so that they have colors that they can wear together that don't clash, that are elegant and harmonious. So it's important to wear harmonious colors, and I'll talk about that in my next video. So also let me know if you want me to do a video of how I went from frumpy French chic to a Miss Universe goddess. Please share, like or hate, and subscribe. Ciao, see you next week. And follow my series on Camilla and how to be charming.